Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to our weekly update of the Senate map. And there are a few. I'm going to add tilts again, and just remember that tilts are my sign of saying it's a true toss-up. But for the sake of completeness, I'll make a call. But I don't have any confidence in it. So I'm actually updating Nevada to tilt Democrat because Dean Heller is performing surprisingly well in polls, enough to actually, in my opinion, consider it a true toss-up. And this race in Tennessee is also a true toss-up, but I'm tilting it to the Republican Marsha Blackburn for various reasons. Even though it is a red state, deeply so, and under normal circumstances this wouldn't be competitive, Phil Bredesen is extremely popular there. He was an extremely popular governor, and he is competing extremely well in polls, leading in most, but I don't think it's enough to overcome the state's history as a Republican state. So I think it's fair to consider it a true toss-up, but tilt it to Marsha Blackburn and the Republicans. Now on to the states that we have, I don't want to call it new information on, but we'll call it new information. We have a new poll from Florida, which is public policy polling, and it was a Democrat commissioned poll from Edge Communications. So it's a partisan poll. I looked at it on my phone, that's why the link isn't blue. And the methodology was okay, but again, I don't weigh partisan polls very heavily. So it doesn't really change the fact that since September of last year, Rick Scott has led most polls, and if you cut it off at March, right before March, Phil Scott leads in almost overwhelming majority of polls. And this includes Democrat commission polls. And yes, some of these are definitely Republican partisan polls, like this one here, McLaughlin and Associates. But the truth is, Rick Scott does have an advantage when it comes to polling. I think it's enough for me to say it actually leans towards Rick Scott. I do have some confidence in this prediction. But it's not enough for me to say that he is going to win this seat. Bill Nelson is still the incumbent. It's still a Democrat wave year, or favorable year. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be a wave, which is surprising from a political science perspective. But it definitely seems that Rick Scott has the advantage and is the one playing offense, and Bill Nelson is the one having to play defense. Rather than Rick Scott having to say, no, I can totally win this seat, and coming from behind, he's the one saying, I've already come from behind. Can Bill Nelson actually defend his seat? So, I think that's an interesting dynamic, and it's one that we should definitely look at, watch as time goes by. Because the Rick Scott model might become a model for Republicans elsewhere hoping to unseat Democrats in Democrat favorable years. And it may be part of the Democrats' model in terms of how to run the campaign, not necessarily the positions to take. But it could become a model for Democrats on how to run a campaign to beat Republicans in Republican years. So this is definitely one to watch, in my opinion. And I mentioned on Friday when I covered the gubernatorial elections, I would talk about the Suffolk University poll from the perspective of the Senate race because they cover it. And I'm not going to go over the methodology again. Instead, we're going to look at this, which the Wikipedia does round this up to 50% to 42, which is perfectly reasonable. I don't see anything wrong with doing that. I I think this is a very reasonable sample. I think it's even a reasonable outcome. And it's well in line with the rest of the polls that have come out since the beginning of August. And Marquette actually shows Leah Vukmir with a significant gain in support since June, as you can see. 7% increase in support for Vukmir. Was there another one from Suffolk? No. So we don't have a baseline for Suffolk. The only one we have 2 polls from is Marquette. So I think it's still fair to say this race leans towards Tammy Baldwin, but Vukmir definitely has a very good shot of winning the seat. Now this is the interesting one. Stabenow is facing John James in Michigan. I think Stabenow is still safe, don't get me wrong, but I do think this could be one to watch, because how often are you going to see this, the Republicans nominating? Oh, okay, I'm not going to go into that one. So we do have 3 tilts in play, or 2 tilts, I'm sorry. We have 2 tilts in play. And I still have the Republicans winning 52-48, but the Democrats definitely could take control. They just need to hold on to Florida and North Dakota, Indiana, while actually flipping Nevada and Arizona. So essentially, the Democrats just need to hold on to every seat and flip 2 Republican seats. However, the Republicans have the potential to massively expand their majority. All they have to do is hold. They don't even have to hold on to Nevada and Arizona. They could let those 2 states go. All they have to do is win North Dakota, Indiana, Florida, hold on to Tennessee. I think it's very possible for them to flip Missouri. Play a little bit aggressive in New Jersey. They very well could flip that seat. Wisconsin, I think that's a little too much, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. Not North Dakota, that's Montana. Montana's possible. I think it may be a bridge too far, but it's possible. So really, Republicans had the luxury of focusing on a narrow range of seats. They can literally focus on North Dakota, Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, maybe invest a little bit in Texas just to make sure. So this is what the map would look like if my predictions hold. Anyway, I want you guys to take it easy. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.